OTAs have been going on. Got some news and notes of the week. Deshaun Watson has looked good allegedly in OTAs, and we haven't seen much of his throwing on video. It's been limited, but Stefanski and Dorsey both said that he looks like himself. So I don't know if that's last year himself or Houston Texans himself. So remains to be seen there.
Can we get Houston Texans Deshaun? Because he's actually good.
I'm hoping. That's what everybody's hoping for. That would be ideal.
Let's be honest here. Deshaun Watson's not playing full seasons anymore. He got the bag. He's not playing a full season ever again. Why would he?
I actually wouldn't mind. I'd love to see Jameis Winston start at least one game this year just for the post-game press conference.
5 interceptions!
Oh, yeah.
5 interceptions!
But he got 6 touchdowns.
I'm still waiting for him to go on a boat on Lake Erie and interview some walleye.
Hell yeah.
So the big man, DeJuan Jones, out of OSU, is back, looking good. He's been taking part in 11-on-11s and has actually been lining up with the ones at right tackle. So, Jack Conklin's coming back, but you saw all the injuries last year with on the offensive line. You're going to need both of those guys more than likely. 6th-round pick. Linebacker Nathaniel Watson has been impressive of all the young guys so far. And then the big news, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry getting contract extensions. This was the highest winning percentage for the team over a 4-year stretch since the 86 to 89 stretch. And Stefanski is the longest tenured coach now since Sam Rutigliano, whose tenure ended in 1984. So we'll start with the two Browns guys. Clarence, we'll kick it off with you. What are your thoughts so far on the offseason and what you've heard so far out of OTAs?
I feel like I'm as I age, I am turning into that curmudgeon Browns fan. Like, everybody comes in the best shape of their life in OTAs. The guy looks awesome. Oh, show me. Watson, this is make or break year for him. Like, he's got to come out and play well. I've seen some scenarios where they can, get rid of him after this season if he doesn't, but they're all seem difficult. We have to eat a lot of money and, whatever else. For me, this is a make or break year for him. He's got to come out and be the guy that we thought he was when they made the deal to acquire him. As far as OTAs and stuff like that, again, like, everybody's looking great, I'm sure. But get on the field. Like, I'm all the preseason stuff, all that, it's great. I just need to see it in practice on the field. I can't read another story about how this guy looks great, that guy looks great. It's the same thing every single year. But then, as we said, most of the time, most of these years end in, 5-11 records back when we were playing 16 games. Last year, we were able to get lucky and find Joe Flacco on the couch. This year, that's not going to happen. So if Watson doesn't play well, I do have faith in Jameis for some reason. I don't know why. He might throw you 4 picks, just like you said, but he's going to throw you 6 touchdowns, or at least the same amount of touchdowns. So, if the defense can just play decently, we got a shot. But as far as the preseason news, I just want to see it on the field.
James, how about you? What do you feel? How do you feel about the extensions for Stefanski and Berry?
What you said about 86 through 89, I saw that on Fox 8 Sports tonight, and that really kind of stopped me because we know that era was just unbelievable. With Bernie and the defense and Marty and later Bud Carson, was coaching the team, but that was the prime years. That's probably one of the reasons why we sit here today as passionate as we are and as hopeful as we are, because we lived through that era. And Brownstown was so incredible then and there's so many young people that even though that we've made the playoffs, we still haven't hosted that home playoff game. And until we do, you still don't know what downtown Cleveland is like. on a playoff home game. And that is what excites me towards this year. And that's the goal this year, is to get to the make sure that we can get some kind of home field for a playoff game. But I actually thought they drafted 6th round Nathaniel Watson just so they'd have another Watson on the team. So if somebody's asking about Watson, they could go, which one? Which one are you talking about? So, and I bet Nathaniel's hoping that the accounting messes up and actually sends Deshaun's paycheck to him, and then Deshaun gets the rookie contract, because if Deshaun doesn't play up to where he needs to, I need to see that happening, because it's like you said, Clarence, it's make or break year. Kevin and Andrew just got the extensions. Make or break year for Deshaun. I think he knows it. There's no secret behind it. And yeah, I mean, when we talked about Jameis Winston being signed, for those of you who don't know, I love Florida State football. I went to see Jameis play in Pittsburgh when he was a freshman against the Pitt Panthers, and won in a national title. So I've always liked his moxie, his leadership. He's a little goofy sometimes, but man, I kind of like that. Do I like that on my quarterback when it's Sundays and he's throwing 3 picks by the third quarter? No, but he will definitely not. If he gets on the field this year, he will definitely entertain us one way or the other.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes, please.
You're up, Paul.
You guys are the Browns experts here, so I want to ask you guys a question, because you're both big on Jameis Winston, and I'm just wondering, do either one of you play fantasy football?
I gave it up for Lent.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So
I'm done with
my
it.
leagues.
you've at
I
least
haven't
seen
played the
how
last
many
2 years.
interceptions this man has thrown.
Oh, I
and
know.
how many times he's cost teams wins. And
He's
you're
a
telling me
gunslinger.
he's the guy you want as the backup to a guy who hasn't played a full season since what, 2020? 2019? I can't even keep track of how long it's been since Deshaun Watson played a full freaking season. This is nuts. What are we talking about
That's
here?
because
we
it's
have
it's
2 bad quarterbacks.
it's June.
Holy
That's why.
hell!
No,
I'd rather
I'm
have
not-
Joe Flacco again.
What Flacco did. But
He
look
was
at what
better.
Flacco did. Flacco's numbers were going to be about the same. How many he threw? A pick or 2 per game, basically, is what it ended up being. So,
But
I mean,
but you know what the difference is between Flacco and Winston? Flacco looks at the wall and goes, "Man, that trophy looks pretty damn shiny." You know what Deshaun Watson looks at? He looks at a game
What?
ball where he threw 10 interceptions in one damn game.
Hey,
Why
James
do
looks
you-
at that
why do you
national
want
championship
that?
trophy. You just got to go down to Tallahassee to look at
I'll
it.
tell you right.
Why do you want that?
I'll tell you right now. Hey, first off, let's just be real. Flacco got carried by that defense, and I'll never forget that season. He threw so many balls in the air that the wide receiver just got lucky with and came down, got paid, was doo-doo from there on out. Jameis, I mean, honestly, who else were we going to get? Again, if you look at the interception ratio compared to what Flacco did last year, compared to what Jameis normally does, I mean, they seem almost similar, honestly.
That's even worse.
I'm okay
Maybe
with it.
from a stat wise, yeah.
Yeah, but who else? But who else were you going to get? Like who else? What other backup quarterback did we have that was out there that we'd be able to yank?
Well, I just want to point out, you guys
We
are the
got
Browns
Huntley,
guys
too.
that are supposed to make me feel good about Browns season to get me hyped for it, and you just sold me literally snake oil here with Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston, and I don't know which one of these is worse. I just know that I'm not going to cure my disease at all here.
Yeah, but if you go back, Paul, and you look at, if I told you the story of last season and all those quarterbacks, that would blow your mind too. Now, and Clarence, you and I talked about this. To do that 2 years in a row is just probably not going to happen with the schedule that we have too. So, yeah, I said Jameis will entertain us, but he will definitely piss us off too with the interceptions.
We do have Tyler Huntley and DTR still too.
Entertain us by slinging it.
To a wide-open defender who's going to take it to the house for 6?
Maybe.
He's going to throw
What
4.
part of that is entertaining?
He'll throw 4 picks, but he'll throw 5 touchdowns. And for 300 yards, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. If the defense plays well, okay. But I don't want to see DTR again unless he's made some serious improvement. he really had zero touch on the ball. He was firing rockets pretty much every time he threw it. Huntley, I mean, he's decent, but I guess the new offense for the second year in a row because last year they said they redid the offense and Deshaun had input and, Deshaun had about one good half of all the games that he played that he looked good. And then we had Flacco come off the couch, play well. Now they're revamping the offense again. From everything that I'm hearing, it's going to be pass happy. So, and then we haven't even gotten to, when are we going to see Nick Chubb? I need to see what this new offense is supposed to look like, because this is the second year in a row they revamped it, and we haven't seen Deshaun Watson thrive so maybe this year? I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see when we see Chubb. I know a lot of people say mid-season. Some people are saying beginning of the season. But, I did like the Deontay Foreman signing. I think he can step in and fill the shoes for a bit while Chubb recovers. And we lost Clarence.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Paul.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Paul,
all I want you to do is make sure that you get points. I want to make sure you get points per interception in your fantasy football league, and you pick up Jameis and win the league.
I'll win in week 1. I'll have like 1 million points, and I'll just sit there and go, I'm dispersing these evenly across the rest of the weeks. Suck it, everybody. I just won the damn thing.
All right.
Going back to one thing that you mentioned earlier, though, you talked about Coach Sam, and I think that's important, is that's how Clevelanders know him. We know him as Coach Sam. So to tie Stefanski to Coach Sam in any way, shape, or form, you got to be doing something right. It's nice to have stability at the top. And God help me, we've gone through so many bad seasons with this Cleveland Browns team since 1999. It's nice to be able to not be the laughingstock of the league anymore. They want us in certain primetime situations. And I was just thinking about, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I read a stat that the 2 most recent teams not named the Cleveland Browns that are not in the division anymore that have won a championship in the AFC North are the Jaguars and the Oilers have won AFC North championships before the Cleveland Browns have. So that's, I feel like that's kind of a dichotomy of what Cleveland Browns football is that we're so bad, the teams that are no longer in our division have more championships in our division than we do. We got to get to the point where we can be a consistent contender every single season. And I know that's hard. I get it. It's 17 weeks of hell. But if you do that and you put that money into the team and you put that investment into this organization, man, like James was saying, you don't know what Cleveland will look like with a dangerously good Cleveland Browns team. Because I've been in downtown Cleveland after 1 win against the Jets that snapped an 0-for streak that we don't talk about anymore. It felt like a party trying to get to the RTA. It was nuts. You couldn't move because there were 100,000 plus people in your way. Can you imagine what that would feel like if that was the division championship or the game that gets you to the Super Bowl? It would be the most energy you've ever felt in your life. And I want to experience that before I die.
And the alcohol. Don't forget,
dies.
There'll be a lot of alcohol.
There's always going to be a lot of alcohol.
There'll be a lot of things you don't feel, too.
Well, we all saw what it was like with the NBA after the NBA championship downtown with the Cavs and the parade. And for the Browns, I think you could probably triple that at least.
Easily.
They'd be hanging from buildings 3 stories, 10 stories up.
Well, they were hanging from buildings during the Cavs parade, and the night I was working downtown that night when they won the championship, and that was one of the most insane scenes I've ever been around. You can go ahead and triple that for the Browns, and I'll just be frank, shit will burn that night. It is 100%. Shit will burn downtown if the Browns ever win the championship.
I'm just more concerned that parade would be happening in February where it's going to potentially snow. So you've got ice that you're trying to hang off of on those 3 or 4 story buildings. So it's going to be a lot less safe.